Ariel is sitting at the airport complaining about her flight being delayed. I feel bad, but I had to work. And she's like one of those neurotic people that if she's not at the airport like 4 hours before her flight, like we fly out of like the world's smallest airport. I think there's like 3 gates maybe, and it takes 0.7 seconds to go through TSA pre-check if it's even open. And even if it's not open, you just go through the regular line. And she texted me. She's like, oh, good. They have clear now. I was like, oh, cool. So you can get through in 37 seconds instead of 50. Anyway, so I'm laughing at her. She said she was going to start drinking. I said, I don't even want to drink on Thanksgiving at this moment in time.
What do you do when you get to the airport and the TSA pre-check line is longer than the other line? Isn't that annoying? I hate when that happens.
That only happens in Denver.
That's happened to me before in Las Vegas. That's definitely happened to me at Reagan International Airport. It definitely has happened there. Or is that an international airport? I don't know.
I have no idea.
It's happened to me at Reagan. Because every idiot there in the DC area has TSA pre-check. Because they're also
which is why now they want you to sign up for clear, which I don't even know what that means. It's just like an extra level.
Who can afford that? What does that cost? Who can afford that?
The only reason why I have TSA pre-check is because your credit card gives it to you.
Right.
For free.
So why don't we I was just yelling at Kelly because Kelly always wants to know what side the book needs. And
time out. So I do a show on Saturday and Sunday, and Art DeCesar comes in every single Saturday and does a wonderful job. He is a beautiful representation of the Westgate Superbook. Beautiful. Comes in, he says, Cal, we took a big bet here. We had a house player here. We had a respected player here. Here's what our biggest needs are going to be, and here's why. Right? Like he breaks down the bookmaking side of things. Right. You come on and you're boring and you're bland and you're just like, who cares? Yeah. The NFL sucks.
It does suck. So what else? What do you want me to do? The NFL sucks and we lose every game in the NFL. This is Kelly. Kelly's always like, oh, I just got to brunch and everybody wants to know what the book needs. I'm like, Kelly, we lose every game. But here's what we needed on Sunday. Dolphins, Colts, Raiders. And then last night, obviously, we needed San Diego because everybody was on Baltimore. We lose every game. Why are you trying to lose your listeners' money by telling them to bet what the house needs in the NFL? Why are you doing that?
I just think for conversational purposes, it's interesting to get a look behind the counter. I'm sorry. You guys have been getting your ass kicked since like week 6.
No, we're fine because we want enough money on the money line parlays with the Redskins losing and Houston losing. I'm just saying.
What are you about?
But you keep asking me what sides we need. We lose every game. At what point do you not realize that this is like some crazy public year in the NFL? Like they all bet.
So I should just cancel the show, is what you're saying. I should just say,
no, I'm saying we're not. I think you should find a new angle. I think that this angle of what does the book need is a tired angle. And I think you should find another approach.
I'm all ears. Tell me what you think I should be doing.
I don't know. I don't even watch the NFL unless I'm here. So I don't.
All right. Well, let's fast forward through the NFL. We're not going to do an NFL recap. Good. We are going to talk about because apparently
we got to do an NFL recap because we got knocked out of Splash Sports Survivor. Remember, we got knocked out. Who did we have? Houston. Boy, one thing I did say, I'm never right about the NFL anymore. One thing I did say that I think was pretty prophetic, though, was everybody was moving C.J. Stroud and Jordan Love up into that group with Mahomes and Allen and Burrow and Jackson. And I said, I want to see these guys do it twice before I start moving.
That sophomore slump. Everybody has one of those, it seems like in the NFL.
Stroud is having more than a sophomore slump.
All right, well, regardless, not happy about it. It is what it is. Well, I don't know. So now there's like less than 50 in Circa. There's like less than 30 in Splash, and we're not in it. So guess what? Everybody should be happy. I still have one survivor left. We all 3 survived again for like weeks. This guy, I think the other guy that I'm playing against this week is going to take Kansas City, and I'm going to be cheering very hard for the Raiders. That's my guess based on looking at.
Why do you think the Raiders are going to beat Kansas City? I don't really understand.
Because Kansas City's not that good. And Patrick Mahomes in these divisional games, we're starting to see some regression to the mean. I know the Raiders aren't any good, but you know who the Raiders give their best game to? The Kansas City Chiefs.
That's true. And I'll tell you what, if there was anything that was upsetting on Sunday, the most upsetting play for us was the Raiders get that 1st and goal to cover the spread. And Denver's got a 2-score lead. They almost don't even care if they score, and they still manage to not score from inside the 1-yard line. A Raiders cover would have been great for the sportsbook, but Antonio Pierce could figure out almost any way to botch it at this point. I feel like
there's just a lot of really dumb coaches, and then guys like Brian Dable get fired over.
I didn't say he was dumb.
The Danny Dimes. No, there's a lot of dumb coaches. There's a lot of coaches who do really dumb things. Nick Sirianni's dumb. He does dumb things. Just doesn't mean he's not loaded with talent.
That's a slur against Italian Americans for you to call Nick Sirianni dumb. Yeah, I don't appreciate that. Wait, did the Giants fire Brian Dable?
Yeah,
they did. When did that happen? I didn't even know.
Pretty sure it was on Sunday. I mean, I drank a lot of tequila shots, but I could be very wrong. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ariel Epstein shows me her phone and goes, "Holy shit, Brian Dable just got fired."
I didn't even know that. Brian Dable got fired. Are you sure about that? Let me see. This NFL. I mean, how many more weeks is there? I mean, how many more?
Maybe I dreamt it.
No, he's still the coach. Brian Dable is the head coach of the New York. No,
yeah,
you just made that up. So
I swear there was like something that she had that like popped up like a notification on your iPhone, and it was like she told me. All right, well,
I got all these quotes about DeVito is dealing with a forearm injury and is not 100% to play on Thursday. Says
maybe it was like Brian Dable says he should be fired. Listen, I don't know. We had this like elite setup at this bar where it was like a mini Westgate Superbook, but different. Where you had like really comfy couches, chairs, and then you had 3 TVs. So we had all 3 setups at this like rooftop. So we had like all the and I was just obviously bebopping around, but I could have swore. Did somebody else get fired? Did I dream it was Brian Dable? I don't know.
As far as I know, Brian Dable has not been fired.
I just Googled it. Thank you. I know he hasn't.
He will be coaching on Thanksgiving against Dallas. You know, that's kind of funny because that game on paper, that was going to be like a big TV ratings game. Giants Cowboys Thanksgiving Day. And now, I mean, who would
I found the tweet. It's right here. I found the tweet. It's the same one. Says Giants are firing both head coach Brian Dable and GM Joe Schoen. And then guess what? Elon comes to the rescue, of course, like 24 hours later and decides to community note it. So I guarantee that's what got sent to her. And instead of fact checking it, she's like, holy shit, and showed me. And here we are.
Well, look, now that Survivor's over, other than the sports book, like obviously I care what the sports book needs. Other than that, the NFL.
You know what you really should spend your free time doing is decorating this new office because it's awful.
Well, they just painted it yesterday. We got to move some stuff in. Just relax,
why couldn't you pick a better color if they painted it for you? Why did you go with the same yellow that was in your old office?
I don't control stuff like that. They just painted it. They removed some paintings. Just take it easy. Right? We haven't even moved the stuff in yet. Right? Just relax. But now that the NFL is over, I officially have no interest, or the Survivor's over. I could care less about the NFL games, other than the book needs. I'll root for the book. But it's gonna be tough.
And let's not talk about NFL. Why are we still talking about that?
You just interrupted me. I was trying to pivot to Saturday. Saturday we did awesome. We had our best Saturday of the year, highlighted by Oklahoma stomping Alabama. And we got really lucky on the Rutgers game. That Rutgers touchdown was huge for us. Everybody bet Colorado against Kansas. Kansas has got to be the best 3-6 college football team in the history of the sport of college football. Kansas actually, they're pretty good. They're a pretty good team. And that was really good for us. And so this is what I want to talk about, though. Indiana lost to Ohio State. So I guess the question is Indiana still going to get in at 11-1? They only played one good team all year. They got beat pretty handily by Ohio State. Are they still going to get into the college football playoff?
Do I think they should? No.
But are they going to?
I guess it depends what happens next weekend.
This sounds like I'm exaggerating, but I really believe that this is one of the most important moments in the recent college football history. If Indiana goes 11-1 and they make the college football playoff, the college football playoff committee just told all the athletic directors in the country, don't schedule anybody. Play the easiest schedule you can and have the best win-loss record possible and we'll put you in the college football playoff. Why would you schedule your team to play in like the kickoff classic at Allegiant Stadium or the one in Atlanta? If the message is 11-1 team that played nobody, you get in.
Well, what was the message last year to Florida State? Sorry, your quarterback got hurt. You're out.
Well, it's like 11. Well, but this is a lot different though. This is 12 instead of 4. So it's like 11-1 team with no good wins and played nobody, canceled their scheduled out of conference game against Louisville. They didn't play that game. They played Western Illinois instead. They get in over 9-3 team that played a brutal schedule. If that's the message.
Yeah, but here's going to be the stupid argument. I'm going to play devil's advocate because I don't think they should get in. But here's the stupid argument. Then everybody who's a 9-3 SEC team is going to argue they get in because they're in the fucking SEC, which is bullshit because the SEC is not that good, which is why I had Florida plus 11.
Yeah, Florida is an SEC team.
Yeah, and Florida's not that good.
That's a confusing argument. But no, I'm just saying, what about like...
I'm just saying like bottom tier, right? We know that there's a couple bottom tier SEC teams. There's a lot of teams in the middle, but their argument is it's okay. We're 9-3 because we're in a conference that beats each other up.
Why would you, if you're Notre Dame went to College Station and they beat Texas A&M. I'm not saying that Texas A&M is incredibly great. I'm just saying that at Texas A&M is a tougher game than a lot of games you could schedule in August. Or USC and LSU, they played each other in a game out here. Georgia, Clemson, they played each other in a game in Atlanta. Why would you schedule those games? If the message is, we don't care about your schedule, we just want you to have the best win-loss record possible. I don't think teams will. And I think that'd be bad for college football.
Well, there's already a lot of things that are not great for college football right now. So
like what? College football playoffs going to be awesome.
I think the college football playoffs is going to be awesome, but I think some of the stuff with the NIL deals and kind of still being the wild, wild west and the transfer portal is kind of already a little damaging. So right now, college football.
Is this true that Larry Ellison's girlfriend is a Michigan fan and he bought her basically? That sounds bad, but he bought the high school quarterback for like $10 million because she asked him to. Is that like, I saw that on X. I don't know if are you still on X or did you move over to Blue Sky?
I have not moved over to Blue Sky. No,
I'm just curious, but I saw that on X and I laughed. So that actually is true. That's not good for college football. So
yeah, like, that's my point. Like what college football is kind of going through this like identity change and they need to figure it out because I don't know. Paul Edgerly, man, I need you. I know you gave a lot of money to get us Coleman Hawkins, but I think we might need a little bit more money to get a better defensive coordinator.
I don't know who those people are.
He's like a rich K-State guy with the Celtics.
With the Boston Celtics?
Yeah. And then we got a guy that owns like some railroad company. His name's on the side of a couple buildings. There's some rich people and there was some NIL money. I mean, I heard we were number 6 in the country. KU was like 2nd or 3rd. Like it's pretty crazy to have 2 teams in the top 10 NIL money for basketball in the state of Kansas. But
what about the idea of Elon Musk agreeing to NIL the Elon football team if they change their nickname from the Phoenix to the Musks? And then he just gives them like $100 million a year to buy the team.
I did not see that.
He could do it. The $100 million is nothing.
God, I need to work harder. I need to like have a good I don't know what I need to do, but like, could you just imagine if like I got to just like, all right, so I'm gonna go scout around in my free time, figure out which high school players I want to plug and play on Kansas State's football team, and just write checks.
Well, wouldn't you just let the coaching staff be like, "Hey, Kelly, we need this guy." You would go scout them. What do you don't know how to scout?
What else would I do? What the hell? I would need something to do. That would be a really great hobby.
But you don't know shit about high school football. How are you going to go? You're going to go scout these guys?
First of all, it's not that you don't know shit. You have to learn about, like, you probably go to Texas a lot, California a lot, Florida a lot, and you go watch some high school games. You talk to the guy up the street at IMG and ask who's really good. You go to Bishop Gorman, you talk to the head coach over there. You start figuring out, like, who are the best of the best and who can I afford and who am I going to get in a bidding war with? And, like, find some of those, like, diamonds in the rough for, like, $200,000 as opposed to $1 million, and it'd be kind of like a really fun, like, I don't know, if you were rich, I think that would be enjoyable.
I can't talk about what I would do if I was rich. Let's do So you had a good Saturday, obviously. You had a bad Sunday. You know why you had a bad Sunday? Because you're obsessed with this fade the public stuff. I've been telling you this for years.
I was on the Colts last Tuesday. I took 7.5 last Tuesday. I
Yeah,
knew
but
that
you knew
yes,
that.
the
But you
public was
knew
going to be on
that.
the Lions. That's
You
not why I
knew the
took the
Lions
Colts.
were going to be. You knew the
My
Lions were going
best
to be
bet
the
was
most
Green
publicized.
Bay. I beat the number by 5 points. What do you want from me?
That was a good one. Green Bay. That was a good one. I watched a little bit of that game. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell how good Green Bay is because San Francisco is such a shell of themselves. I think
I think that's how I'm going to
say,
use Buffalo this week in my Survivor.
you know, we did complain about the NFL, but one game we did really well on was Seattle beating Arizona. Arizona was one time where we actually did have the right side came in. And Seattle, they look better right now. They look a little bit better. Philadelphia looks really good. It's so funny to think back to when we used
Yeah, I just said nice things about Jalen Hurts, and you said nice things about Justin Herbert, and here we are.
Well, I didn't watch the game last night, so I can't comment. Or the game on Sunday, actually. But
listen, I don't know how much it was Justin's fault, but his one receiver, I think Quentin Johnston. Oh my God. I
like Justin Herbert a lot. I think Justin Herbert's really good.
I don't know. That guy needs to get better receiver gloves or something.
But it is funny when you look back to when we used the Eagles in Circa Survivor, they looked so bad in that game. They were so lucky to win at home against the Browns. And ever since that game, they have been clearly the second best team in the NFC. Detroit, and I think Detroit and Philadelphia, no offense to Minnesota, but I think Detroit and Philadelphia have separated themselves from the pack in the NFC. And they look like they're on a collision course for the NFC Championship game, from what I can tell. Why don't you tell me?
I don't know why you're still talking about NFL after you're saying 20 minutes ago you didn't want to talk about it anymore.
I have to. I have to do these shows.
Oh, you have to, except on Sundays for me. Got it.
Give me your. Well, no, I don't have to do that show. We'll get somebody to do it. We'll get somebody to do it.
You're the worst.
Why don't you tell me what sharp play or what you like in college football, and I'll run through some college football sharp.
John Murray, it's Tuesday morning. I have so much work to do. Ariel Epstein just left. If you think I have any idea, I mean, okay, I have an idea, but if you think I have any idea of the 3 that are going to be the
hottie threesome,
yeah, that.
Well, I can help you out. I can run through a whole bunch of sharp plays I've seen in college football. You want
those?
Right. They played Kelly's favorite team this year is without a doubt Michigan State. She plays them every week, I think.
I haven't played them in 5 weeks.
Oh, I feel like you're on them a lot in hottie threesome. They played Michigan State -1. They're at home, against Rutgers. They played New Mexico -2 at Hawaii, Memphis +14 at Tulane, Texas San Antonio +7 at Army, Arkansas +3.5 at Missouri. And this one's interesting to me. Oklahoma +6.5 at LSU. I mean, if there was ever a letdown spot for Oklahoma, that was an unbelievable win for Venables. And
what was the team after Memphis? Michigan State, New Mexico, Memphis.
Texas San Antonio at Army.
UTSA, I like them.
TSA. +7.
Yeah,
they're
right here.
What? So you have done work.
I told you I've done some work.
So you're a lying liar.
I like Oklahoma +6.
But isn't that a letdown spot for them after?
Of course it is, but
unbelievable.
I played against LSU last week, and I will never. So here's how it happened. So I'm on Vandy. It's in my parlay, where it's Friday night. We are sitting out, having margaritas, having a good time. Brett comes running over from the bathroom and is like, "Hey, I put in this sharp bet for Kelly's birthday. If it hits, I'm paying for dinner tonight or whatever." And I look at it and I go, "You dumb fuck. Vanderbilt +7.5 is one of my best bets." And he goes, "Oh, well, so-and-so played it." And I go, "Yeah, well, so-and-so also played at Ole Miss." And he goes, "Touche." Immediately bets the other side, bets back in Vandy. I was like, "Yeah, well, so-and-so can kiss my ass because he was wrong about Florida." So I just think it's really funny because that's just what it is. I feel like this is like a giant circle jerk.
Kelly you nailed that Ole Miss game, so good for you. That was a really good win for Florida. Florida's playing better. That was a really good win.
Defense is what's really,
I know,
really saving their asses over the last few weeks. But yeah, I'd like to play against LSU again. I don't think that that's necessarily a letdown spot for Oklahoma. I guess it could be. They're still Oklahoma. They're not UTSA, who just sprung some crazy
I
upset.
hear you.
And they're still playing LSU.
I don't like that. I don't like that they moved the USC Notre Dame game to 12:30. I feel like that should be a prime time game.
I have USC circled like probably in September for this game. I don't know if I like USC anymore.
Notre Dame, the last like 6 to 8 weeks, they don't just win. They destroy everybody they play.
Correct.
And you can say whatever you want about their strength of schedule, and I've been very critical of Indiana's strength of schedule, but they are just lining people up and demolishing them.
Okay, so Chris asked me this on the show last week. Do you think it's fair that Notre Dame doesn't have to win their conference to get into the college football playoff?
Well, yes, it is now because nobody does. Like
they don't even have to play that game. It's almost like,
but aren't there
like an extra game of rest or an extra week of rest?
The Big Ten championship game is going to be Oregon, Ohio State, right? But we fully expect Penn State to be in the playoff. I think they will be. So I'm sure that some SEC team is going to get into the playoff without even playing in the SEC championship game, right? So
I don't know. Whatever.
I actually, you know what?
I don't know.
I'm arguing with you just to be that person. I actually agree with you. I think Notre Dame should be in a conference. I agree with you. Who said that?
Chris Thurston and I were talking about on our show.
I agree with you. I think CT is right. Notre Dame should be in a conference. It's enough already. It's silly with this independent stuff. They should be playing a tougher schedule. I guess maybe that's why they go out and they schedule a game like at Texas A&M. Right. And
they got to have one good win on their record, especially after they lose to Northern Illinois. I don't think they should get in for that reason alone.
But they will get in if they go 11-1, because who else?
Yeah, but if you're one loss, oh God. Okay, fine.
No, that's a horrendous loss. There's no doubt. But if Notre Dame beats USC on Saturday, they're definitely going to be one of the 12 teams, and they're one of the 12 best teams in the country. Are
you still alive in our college football Survivor?
Isn't every entry in the contest still alive?
Is
it even possible?
We have one in there. We have 76 left in the revival.
Okay.
In the $20 entry, we have 188.
Okay. In
the $100 entry, we have a lot left. We have 547.
I think I'm 3 of those. Although
I'm 2 of those, and then I have 1 in the 50K, and then 1 in the $20 one.
Tell me again about the Splash Sports college football postseason pools you're doing.
Okay, so we have 2. One is the $25,000 College Bowl Pick'em. Starts the 14th of December, so you have to get your entry in by then. $50 entry, $25,000 guarantee. Then we're doing another Survivor, which is just for the college football playoffs. It's a $100 entry, $50 guaranteed. Obviously, you've got to pick it exactly correct, right? So the first week, you have 3. Then you've got 4, 3, 1, and 1.
4, 3. Really? Wow.
It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be very hard. But what am I supposed to do? Everybody bitched that these other ones are too easy, so you have to like.
Is that even possible if you pick 3 quarterfinals? So you'd have to save one team for a semifinal that you didn't use in the quarterfinal, and then you'd have to. But then how could you have anybody left for the final?
Okay,
I think that's too many quarterfinal games.
So the first round, there are 4 games.
So now you've got
quarterfinal. There are 3 games. The semifinal, there are 2 games, and then you have to pick a national champion.
You can't pick 2 semifinals and still have a team alive for the national championship. We talked about.
No, it's just 1 in the semifinals.
Oh, I thought you just said 2.
No,
I don't know if that's
2 the week before that.
Possible. Oh, 2 the week before that. You said 3. So 2 quarterfinals.
3, 2, 1, 1.
Okay. I thought you said 4, 3, 1, 1.
I did say 4 at first because I thought there were 4 blanks there, but there's 4 games, 3 spots you have to pick.
That's going to be hard.
Because like
really hard.
March Madness was really hard. And I ran out of teams.
So did I. I did too. That's going to be really hard. I don't know if anyone. How much does it cost to get into that?
$100.
That's a lot.
Why? It's $50,000 guaranteed. Listen, I bought 5 entries in that one. I bought 2 entries in the bowl pick'em. I may I may add more, but I think they're going to do some other bowl pools that are not Kelly or Kelly and Murray related that are going to be pretty big guaranteed prize pools. I may get in those as well.
How do you keep it all straight? You know, like you're in all these contests, you're making all these bets, you're always out partying, traveling.
Always out partying.
How do you keep?
I'm always at home. I am traveling a lot, but I get a lot of work done on the plane. And yeah, I mean, look, I am home this weekend for Thanksgiving. I'm home not the following weekend. I'm going to be in New York City for K-State St. John's. And then I'm not doing anything for like a while. And then I have to go to a wedding in February.
You guys are going to K-State St. John's? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm taking Aunt Helen. I think it'll be fun. Chris is going to drive down from Boston with his wife. I tried to bring Brett, and he was like, no. I'm like, think about it. Maybe we can go to like Rockefeller Center and like not stand in line for 2 hours to go ice skating, but take a picture like we did. And he's like, no.
Brett's not as gung-ho on the travel as you, I've noticed. I kind of get it. I
don't think he enjoys hanging out with Kelly in Vegas. I think he doesn't like going to K-State events because there's like, I know a lot of people. I mean, I went to school there. Like, I mean, randomly it was like, I don't know. It's just a weird thing. I think he's just like, you go, do you, and I'll see you when you get home.
Is it safe to say, because we're recording this on Tuesday morning, and this week is always clumsy. It's always hard because you want to have the show available for people to listen to it on Tuesday and Wednesday, because those are like two of the busiest travel days of the year. But then the downside is we're recording it on Tuesday morning, so we probably don't have as much information as we will when we record the show. Our normal recording is on Thursday afternoons. So do you have a best bet or a barking dog? You've got nothing. You haven't done anything.
It's not that I don't have anything. I told you I think I was going to use Buffalo for my Survivor.
Right.
And then I've kind of like, I don't know. I've kind of like went back and forth. NFL has been fucking brutal. So what I give out each week is, for years, just a best bet, because NFL is hard, right? I'm in the super contest. Picking 5 games against the spread a week is like torture for me. Half the time I'm throwing like darts.
That's a real advertisement for the contest. Thank you. Torture. I hope that
for me it's hard trying to like, because like I like 1 or 2 games. I like 1 or 2 games, and then it's like, holy shit, I don't want to just be a contrarian asshole on the other 3. But listen, it's the sharpest market. So unless something crazy like last week happens where half of the Niners get bailed out and then everybody ends up using Green Bay anyway, even though it was my best bet prior to all of that, it's difficult. So
it's tough, man.
Look, we've got 3 Thanksgiving games. I joked earlier in the year, I do not want to use Detroit on Thanksgiving. They're going to fuck us over against Chicago, who hates me and I hate them by all due respect.
You hate
the
me. Chicago Bears?
The city of Chicago probably
hate the city of Chicago.
But look, I had a great stat against Detroit last week. This week, teams that are coming off back-to-back 14-plus point wins, 49, 80, and 2. That's 38% against the spread since 2018. And I still don't want to take Chicago. So then moving along, we have the backup quarterback bowl in Jerry World.
So bad.
It's so bad. And that's what we probably would have got stuck with, would have been Dallas. Or we talked about using Green Bay in Survivor. And now Miami looks a lot better. So I'm not saying I'm not going to have a play on Thanksgiving, because I'm sure I'm going to want to have some sort of action for fun. Maybe I'll throw a couple of them in my Super Contest reboot. But I mentioned I liked Las Vegas. They always play the Chiefs tough. So there's a spot that I'm looking at. Taking, what is it, 12.5 right now?
We're at 12.5 right now.
Okay. So I had Raiders plus 12.5 written down. I want nothing to do with the Tennessee Titans, those mother bleepers, after killing our Survivor last week. The Washington football, whatever the fuck's, coming back down to life. Then you got Harbaugh going to Atlanta. Kirk Cousins turned into a pumpkin like 3 weeks ago. Here's a fun game. You got Pittsburgh off that loss Thursday night to our boy Jameis. Now they're 3-point underdogs in Cincinnati. Cincinnati's been a horrible home favorite. Maybe Pittsburgh, long list. Then we've got Indianapolis, New England. I'm sorry. The Colts.
Just talking about these games is making me want to sleep.
Well, you asked.
I know. I'm sorry.
And then you got to take CJ Stroud, who you say sucks now after last
year.
year.
He's a
5-point favorite at Jacksonville? No thanks. Minnesota, Arizona, interesting in itself. You just mentioned Arizona was looking better, and then they just got whooped up on by Seattle.
Yeah, that's true.
Then we've got this exhilarating game between the Seahawks and the Jets. Hard pass. Tampa Bay, road favorite at Carolina. You know how I feel about Carolina. Moving right along. Then you've got the Rams at New Orleans. Sounds also very much fun. Here's a fun one. Sunday afternoon, Philadelphia, Baltimore. Ooh. So you know that line is a coin flip for a reason, essentially. Baltimore, decent home field advantage, -3. So why there's no value to extract there. Mentioned Buffalo, San Francisco, especially if San Francisco still has half their team out. I'm going to be using Buffalo in Survivor. And then the Denver Broncos just keep winning, even though they're playing our guy Jameis. So I don't know. I mean, the Denver Broncos have been great, especially beating up on lesser teams. Denver Broncos, I think, have covered every game as a favorite this year.
Yeah, and we've certainly reached the time where Bo Nix is much better than Jaden Daniels. I mean, I remember when the Broncos
Caleb Williams, but yeah, same both.
When the Broncos picked Bo Nix, I thought it was like crazy. Was totally wrong. Sean Payton looks like he was right, and Denver is playing really well. So we do have some sharp bets to report. Kelly's not going to like this, all right, Kelly, because you just went through every game. You're not going to like what I have to say. Bears plus 10.5 at the Lions, but they bet against the Lions. They bet against the Lions every week. Every week, it's like
I was on the Colts last week. I'm probably going to be on the Bears.
I like the Colts.
And then the Lions are going to win by 45, and it's going to ruin Thanksgiving.
It's going to ruin Thanksgiving. You're going to be with your family and Brett and your dog.
Well, the Lions ruined Thanksgiving last year, so
the Lions did ruin Thanksgiving last year. Tennessee is playing against the Commanders. That's the team in Washington that used to be the football team. They took.
Did you see that they're trying to get him to come back as the Redskins?
Really? Oh wow.
I don't know. I think it'd be great.
6 in that game, and there was also a very sharp syndicate that played the game over. Let me double check the number. I think it was 43.5. But there was a
syndicate. Do we still call people syndicates?
Is that an offensive term? I'm a PC. I wouldn't want to be.
I don't know. Is that what we're still calling these like groups?
I don't know. I
think they like calling themselves syndicates, but whatever.
I hope I didn't offend anybody. I know you can't do that. And then you're not going to like this one. They played the Panthers plus 6.5 against Tampa Bay. You know what? Bryce Young does look a lot better. He's settled in. I think that guy's a good coach, Dave Canales. He was with Tampa Bay last year. I think that guy's a really good coach. And Young is settling in a little bit on offense there. And they played. We opened. So one of the games we talked about on Sunday night when we opened it was we were debating where should we open the Buffalo game, because there's a couple of unknown variables there with San Francisco. We opened at 6.5, and they bet us right up to 7 right away. And then there was also some sharp money on Arizona against Minnesota. That's an interesting game. Actually, you know what? Sunday has a couple games that are like semi-interesting.
Like two.
Liverpool's playing Manchester City on Sunday morning.
So Ariel and I are planning our trip to Ireland, and we were talking about it. And I was like, hey, I think instead of flying to Dublin or to Scotland, we should like drive through England. And so I was like looking at an England map, and I was like, oh, we could go to Liverpool. And she's like, and do what?
If you guys go to Liverpool, can I come? Because I don't think so.
I think we'd be in Liverpool for like, if there was a game, like maybe go to one soccer game. I don't know. It's in August. Is soccer even going on in August?
Well, August when? Because the EPL will start in like the middle of August.
Yeah. I think K-State plays like August 23rd or something.
Oh, yeah. The EPL will be going on. Oh, I want to go on that trip. Wait, K-State's playing in Dublin?
Mm-hmm.
No way.
When's so we're going to go meet Iowa State, which is kind of weird.
Wow.
Well, we play Iowa State this weekend, and then start next season with Iowa State. It's very.
I realized that if the next time I go to Liverpool, I want to go to a game at Anfield, and I'm going to stay in Dublin. There's not a whole lot to do in Liverpool, but if you're in Dublin, it's a very easy flight from Dublin to Liverpool. You also could take the ferry from Dublin to Liverpool. So
Well, I
I
was
want.
thinking how fun it would be to rent a car and be on the other side of the road.
No. That's you're driving over water or going from
No,
Dublin to
because
Liverpool.
like we were talking about going like up England, going to Scotland, and then going over. Because like
I'm just saying,
I like Ireland and the idea of it, but like I'm not trying to spend 10 days in just Ireland.
No, when you go over there, you got to check out other countries.
Yeah.
You got to check out that. That sounds like a fun trip. If Liverpool has a home game that week, I'm going to crash that trip.
Like I've already decided we're just going to go to London Heathrow. It's $2,000 cheaper to fly Delta One. I'll go shopping in London Heathrow.
That sounds expensive.
No, it's like 60% cheaper than in America. Anyway, so like that's the overall plan. We'll go shopping in London, see like 3 things. Peace out, London, because I heard the food is garbage. And then I wanted to bebop around the rest of England, but she said no. She's afraid of me driving on the other side of the road. And like I have a friend from college that lives in like Binghamton or whatever.
Why don't you guys just take the train? The train's great. I took a train from Liverpool to London after the game, and we were just going through the countryside and stopping in all these little towns. It dropped us off in London. It was great.
Okay.
It wasn't even expensive. It wasn't expensive.
All right, fine. Maybe.
Why don't you hit me with the mail? Keep me updated on that trip. I might want to.
You're gonna come?
If you guys go to a Liverpool game at Anfield and we can go to the K-State game in Dublin, I'll come.
Well, what Aunt Helen's trying to do is get 12 of us, because then we can get a suite.
I'm in. But I gotta see Liverpool play it.
But that's what I mean. Like, let's just say even if Ariel didn't want to go to a Liverpool game, maybe her and Aunt Helen go do something else and we go to the Liverpool game.
That would be so much fun.
Yeah.
I would definitely do that.
Okay,
that sounds so fun.
Well, I'm gonna text Ariel, you're crashing our girls trip.
Well, all right, do the mailbag. All right, text Ariel after the show. I got things to do.
Oh yes, you're very important. How is your new job, by the way?
So that's fine. I gotta go. No, we have a Cammie called a lunch meeting, so I do have to go pretty soon. We're going to Italy. You ever been there? Italy. Oh yeah, it's good.
Yeah, you guys just get to go off property and somebody has to pay for it. That sounds great. Okay, Vincent PGH on X says, at this point in the season, do you see any value in any college football futures?
Boy, it's really tough. Let me pull it up so I can take a look.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's like pretty much already extracted.
It's really tough to say that because you've got all these teams, like even Georgia, who I think is the best team, who I think will be favored in these games. We have them at 4-1, but what if they have to win 4 games in the college football playoff? What
is Notre Dame to get into the college football playoff?
Well, I would look at Notre Dame's odds to get into the playoff to be the same thing as the money line on Saturday. If they lose to USC, they're out, obviously. If they win, they're going to be in the playoff. So we have the money line here at Notre Dame minus 300.
Okay.
So look,
what do you guys have Boise State at?
Boise State. We don't have to make the playoff up right now.
Okay.
I'm not sure what their money line is this week, but I would say Boise State, if they win out, they're going to be in the playoff. Don't you think?
Yeah, I had a buddy text me a couple weeks ago. He goes lay 190 on Boise State, and I'm like, ugh. And now it looks pretty good. So,
well, I think all you would need to do there is figure out what their money line is on this weekend and what their money line would be against UNLV. I think they're playing UNLV in the championship game, right?
Yes.
So you could do the parlay of those 2 money lines to give you an idea, because if they win both those games, they're going to be in the playoff. So that would give you a pretty good idea of what the odds would be on them making it to the playoff. But I don't see how you can, to answer this guy's question, I don't see any value taking Texas, Oregon, Ohio State. They're all like 3, 4, 5-1. What kind of value are you really getting when these teams have to win 3 or 4 games? You go a little bit further down the list.
Yeah, but you remember last time we told people just to roll over the money line?
Oh, I know. Look, you're right. And that I think that what Connecticut did in the last 2 years in the NCAA tournament is a bit of an outlier. But absolutely, no, I know. I was still shocked to this day at how
That
big
you
of a
were
favorite.
wrong.
No, that they were that big of a favorite and that they won that easily in consecutive NCAA tournaments. You're right. Dan Hurley is a beast. Next question.
Okay, at Golf Guy 91 on X says, what game across all sports is taking the most action on Thanksgiving, and which sides are the sharp accounts for that game?
I'm gonna guess that the game that'll end up having the most money on it when we get to Thursday will be Miami and Green Bay. It's the best game of the day. It's in prime time. Right now, we actually have.
You don't
more
think
money.
the fact that Raiders Kansas City on Black Friday being a standalone game?
Oh, I thought we were just talking about Thanksgiving.
I think he asked the weekend, but anyway.
Oh, he did. I'm sorry.
Nope, most action on Thanksgiving.
Okay, well then I'll stick with Miami Green Bay because right now it's definitely the first game, Chicago Detroit, because Detroit is such a popular team. They're start running on Chicago.
Because everybody wants to not forget that it kicks off early as shit, and
exactly.
get their bets in early.
No, you're totally right, but that game's at 9:30 in the morning. So when we get,
I literally told Brett, he was like, why would you tell people to come over at 9:30 in the morning for Thanksgiving? And because I had told our trainer, I was like, yeah, stop by. Like, I'm going to be making cinnamon rolls and stuff for breakfast. I'll get the cheese boards and stuff going. And Brett goes, 9:30. I go, that's when the first game kicks off.
Well, not for you. It starts at 12:30 for you.
Oh.
Kelly, come on.
My brain must still remember Vegas early morning kicks when all the years I hosted Thanksgiving. Fine. Okay, fine.
12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific. So that game, even though it's got the most tickets and money right now, I do think it'll get passed by the late game. Look at the time slot. That's also by far the best game of the three, right? You got two teams. Two teams are possibly going to make the playoffs. I know Miami's going to have a big charge because you look at Denver, you look at the Chargers, those teams keep winning. It's going to be tough for Miami to catch them, I think, but they have playoff aspirations. I can't say that about Chicago. And the Giants-Cowboys game is just awful. So I do think you're going to end up with Miami and Green Bay being the big one Thursday.
All right. At _Turtle Sports on X says, for anyone looking to grow their brand or visibility in the sports betting space, any suggestions on how to do it right? Oh, boy, John Murray.
I should have asked that question to you. Don't you? I mean, don't you?
I was just waiting for you to say like something like completely off the wall.
I don't want to say what I can't answer that
because I know
everybody knows what the answer is. Everybody knows what the answer is. So don't make me say it, please, sir. Come on, we all know what the answer is.
I know, but here's what I'm going to say to a guy like Turtle Sports, who is probably.
How do you know he's a guy? How do you know he's a guy?
Because
what if it's a girl?
If it's not a guy, he knows exactly what to do. So anyway, I would say just keep churning out content every single day, staying relevant and being consistent with it. I think that's huge. The algorithm really likes that, and they like creativity, right? Like there's some things that I've got to change up with mine because like midway through the season, my videos are getting half the views they were getting to start the season. Maybe it's because I can't hit a single outright parlay to save my life. But also I think it's because it's like, oh, well, this year we did a blue screen background and here's where we are. But if it was different each and every week. So I've got some idea changes for next year. If John Murray still would like to sponsor my parlay. If not, then, well, here we are. At Craig Mueller, will the Lions score 50 on Thursday?
Will the Lions score? No, I don't think so. We have the total at 48.5 for both teams.
Yeah, not against that Bears defense, I don't think.
I'm going to have to say no. I think Chicago's pretty good defensively, although I mean, Detroit's playing great, man. Every week, like I liked Indianapolis a lot on Sunday. I thought Indianapolis plus 7.5 was a really good bet. I thought it was a big overreaction, and I think Detroit won like 21-6, something like that. Detroit, really, their defense hasn't fallen off that much without Hutchinson either. I mean, they're just playing great, man. They're really tough.
El Nino SBR on X says, happy birthday, KIV. When your meme shitcoin takes off, will you funnel some of your profits to get John Murray a decent microphone?
Oh, well, good question.
Seems okay. I think it's the new office is helping. Did they give you like a new Wi-Fi booster or something in there?
No, I turned the Wi-Fi off. Wi-Fi off.
Maybe it's because you have a window in this office, so it's like getting cell service.
You know, it is nice having a window. It really, like, seriously, looking out and seeing the golf course, it's really nice. But when are you going to start your meme coin? That's what the people want to know. The KIV coin. No coin.
No, I'm just gonna keep buying Bitcoin. As soon as it crashes again, I'm back in.
Oh, I think that's it's probably a good idea. That's probably a good idea. That we can't.
Are you a Bitcoin millionaire yet? I mean, you've been talking about buying Bitcoin for a long time. Like, I got to see your wallet. What do you got?
Let me remind. So I can't pick a winner to save my life in the NFL this season. I just
why are you wasting your money on NFL if you have a fucking $1 million in Bitcoin?
But let me finish. I have been saying on this show with you going back like 4 years to buy Bitcoin. So you're welcome. Anything else?
That's it. That's all I got. Happy Thanksgiving.
We'll do a show next Thursday, right?
Yeah,
back
normal
to the
time.
regular schedule. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll tell my mom you said hi. Happy birthday, KIV. We love you, KIV.
Oh, you're very sweet. Tell everybody I said hello. Hope everybody out there has a great and wonderful Thanksgiving. Shout out to all of you because we're thankful for you, regardless if John Murray thinks we are or not.
Wow, that's nice. It's really nice.